What is your experience with dogs and fireworks?
The 5th of July, my phone rings off the hook. People don't think about it, and a lot of times it really is not, hey, the owner's shooting off fireworks and it has the puppy sitting here. It's the neighbor did, or someone down the street and they're shooting off these mega fireworks. Sure. It's just better off to play it safe during this time of year. We always suggest put the puppy, again, we've been working on crate training, hopefully up to this point. The dog is comfortable in the crate. Let's put the crate maybe in the basement with some music playing, something to muffle that out as much as possible, because we call it gun shyness. Right. But it's really noise shyness, which will lead into what we call gun shyness.
I've seen dogs that were not gun shy, but had issues with fireworks.
Correct.
It's not the same thing.
It is not, no.
And to me, there's no upside to putting a dog into that. It's a combination of a lot of bad things. The screaming that some of the fireworks make as they're shooting off. It's the explosions. It's the multiple explosions. And it's the colors.
Yeah.
There's an enormous amount of light. So you've got several things going on there that is not natural for a dog. Because how easy is it to fix a dog once they have a noise sensitivity issue?
It's one of those things that I never make a promise that we can get over it. We could get lucky and it could take 2 days. Right. We could be 2 months into it and still be banging our head against the wall. And there's no guarantee on it. Anytime something is a fear, it's somewhat of a wild card, because you need to get inside that dog's head, try to get them to overcome it, where it's just easier to avoid the situation altogether.
Because it's so easy to screw it up and put them in a bad situation, and now you have a problem. And I'm always amazed too, and we get folks that there's a bunch of memes on the internet where people talk about how well, your dog's scared of fireworks, that's cute, mine's looking for dead birds.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of folks are just trying to be funny. To me, it's one of those things that it's a situation that can ruin a dog.
Right.
And the worst part about it is that these dogs are generally part of the family. If you've got a young dog that is now afraid of loud noises and associates that with gunfire too, but he's part of the family, now you've lost a hunting dog.
Right.
Talking about fixing it, I'm not saying it can't be fixed, but to me those dogs are never quite the same. And some just can't be fixed.
Right. Well, and really at the end of the day, it has very little to do with being a hunting dog, right? So like he hears a noise and looking for a bird, and that may be true with some dogs. Sure. But I'll tell you, I've worked with dogs that I would put up against a lot of dogs that they just didn't like fireworks. Sure. Would be the best gun dog that you'd ever ask for. Yeah. But that doesn't always correlate. And so it's always just better to be safe than sorry.
Yeah. It's just really not worth it. Yep. It's just not worth it. So and the other thing too to keep in mind is that and it's generally twice a year. It's 4th of July, it's New Year's Eve, but it's not just 4th of July.
Right.
It could be on the 3rd, it could be on the 5th. So you want to pay attention to that. Big thing I tell folks to do, especially if they've got a young dog, and if they're in a neighborhood that has a history of shooting them off. A lot of places they're not legal, but a lot of places they are. Talk to your neighbors. Just go around and say, hey, I've got a young dog. I don't, if you're shooting off fireworks, that's great. Just give me a call.
Right.
Let me know, and I can put him up, and we won't have a problem. Yeah. It's just an ounce of prevention in this, is so much better than having to step back and deal with it, after it's a problem.
Yeah, for a young dog, there's nothing worse than having something that's out of your control ruin that dog for his entire life going forward. So rather safe than sorry.
It's just not worth it.